and then like the end of the third, it just kind of got slipped away.
Yeah, they made a couple plays. Again, we had some open looks I think that we missed, but then we gave up. I had a bad turn on the baseline. We give up offensive rebounds. When you're already down, 10 points, 15 points, and you give those things up, you get back up for a layup once you play good defense. It's detrimental. It's a thing where once you get to that point in the game and you're down, you have such little margin of error, and we just didn't do a good enough job setting ourselves up to have a chance to win late in the game.
Could you assess the season in a sense? I know it's tough, right now at this point, but you guys dug such a hole.
Mm-hmm.
We're really on the kind of the verge of crawling out of it, but just missed by that little bit. How did you see the season overall?
Yeah, I mean, credit to our guys and the coaching staff. We started 9 games below 500 the first quarter of the season, so to be able to come back and play 6 above that from there and fight our way to have a chance to play in the playoffs, I think was an achievement. Obviously, that's not the end goal, and that's not, nobody's satisfied with just winning a playing game and then losing and not playing the postseason. So that part is obviously frustrating and a little disheartening, just because it's something, me personally, that I strive so hard to play in and to have a chance to win. And, to not be able to do that really hurts. But different guys throughout the year did a good job of stepping up and helping each other when maybe somebody else was down, or we had some type of off-court distraction. Whatever was happening this year, we did a good job of rallying together and putting our best foot forward night in, night out.
Alex, obviously, your job is just to play, and the front office's job is to get the roster together. But this is 3 straight seasons where either injuries or a little bit of an underwhelming finish has clouded the season. So what do you think kind of this team needs to move forward and take the next step?
Excuse me. The injury part is just, unfortunate luck. Missing Patrick again this year. He was playing really well for us coming out of that stretch in the beginning of the year. I think he's kind of a difference maker just with his versatility for us. He gives us a lot. And obviously I was forced to go and play some of that small ball 4 role, and I try my best, but obviously I'm not the athlete, the rebounder, the physical presence that Patrick is. So missing him really hurt. And then obviously Zach, missing your one of your top guns, guy that can go and score points in bunches, and the other team has to respect a lot, really hurt. For those things, there's not much you can do. Even my stuff this year, it was all just like landing on somebody's ankle, getting stepped on. Like, it was random stuff that just comes with the game, which is just unlucky. As far as structure of the team, yeah, I don't know. I need more time to probably decompress and look at what we did and what we didn't do against who this year. But credit to the guys, like I said earlier, that battled with this all year. Coby and Io took big steps, just maturing in a way that they understand the type of players that they are, the caliber of players they are, to take on that that challenge of being the second leading scorer, being the engine for the team. I thought they did a great job for us this year.
And I know this is a round moment, but we won't see you this offseason. So what if you're on first team all defense again? What would that mean to you personally?
It'll be great. That's it's an ego boost. Obviously you wish it came with a little. I wish that counted for more wins or for something for us to be able to play in the postseason. Should make it even more special. But yeah, it's hard to do. First, second team, just even being considered for those things is humbling for me. Just because of the journey that I've had to kind of shape out and the path that I've taken to get here to make myself, even considered for that is a good achievement.
And you talked, one more for me. You talked many times about how last offseason you looked at yourself and said, how much better I can get defensively, but I can get better offensively. You made that jump. So what do you take into this offseason as far as your approach to coming back next season?
Yeah, same thing. Just keep developing. I think I got my attempts up to almost 5 a game from 3, which is good. See if we can bump that up to another level. Try and find ways to get more. Maybe transition off the move, maybe off the dribble. But I think just tightening that stuff up. I like you said, I think I took a step offensively, which is good. When you have long off seasons, you have a lot of time to work. So looking forward to getting back in the gym and getting better for next year.
You mentioned obviously the strides Coby, Io, young guys and stuff made this year. Zach was just gone for a lot of this year, and sort of just questions about whether or not he'll be here or something next. But if he is healthy and back on this team, just how do you see that him fitting back in along with the young guards? And is there enough room for all these guys to play and flourish?
Yeah, I think so. I think throughout the year, you can see just the different timing of it to where, we had to play 40 minutes basically, all the guards and wings, that started for the last couple of years. So, being able to cut that down to 30 and have another guy come in and play 30 and be the threat that he is. I think this year he's averaging close to 5 assists, and that's something that I think he's gotten better at is making reads. And obviously everyone knows the scoring talent that he has. Excuse me. He can go score in bunches and be that threat for us, and kind of get a shot whenever he needs. And that's something that is invaluable in the NBA. That guy that you can just say, here's the ball, go make something happen. So always a spot for somebody like that on the team. And Coby, Io, myself, we're intellectual, we're cerebral players. We can always find a way to fit in with that.
Alex, we always hear about this Heat culture. You've been around a couple different franchises now. How does the Bulls go about building their culture?
Yeah, I think it's just creating that desperation, not being satisfied, having an end goal and seeing the vision for where you want to be. Not being satisfied. I think some of that is human nature. That's easy to have a couple wins in a row, or have a stretch like you said, +6 after we lost the first quarter of the season, -9 in games won. But having that desperation from the start, game 1 to game 82, there's got to be a vision of where you want to be and what you want to achieve.
I wanted to follow up. Mentioned several times. Obviously, we know Coby's improved quite a bit. I improved quite a bit. Demar had really terrific season. Fourth quarter always. Vooch had a good season. You feel like, in some sense, you're sort of like cloud, like you should be there. You got to be there. You just can't quite, grasp it. That it seems like it's close.
Yeah.
With the production, even without Zach and Patrick Williams.
Yeah, I mean, that is just a credit to the type of character and the competitors that we have in the locker room to, lose 2 starters for our team, one guy that's max player for us, and be able to come out of here and, be a couple quarters away from, maybe a couple bad losses during the year from winning one game and being in, or not winning, just being top 6. Yeah, it's tough to look at and say, if this, then that, because there's so much that goes into the butterfly effect of looking at the season. But
is that what haunts you as a player?
yeah, but I mean, you have to live with that. That's part of the game. Like every year, somebody makes it to the finals because one team's best player gets hurt, and now the series is flipped on its head, and somebody has an advantage. That just comes with the game of basketball. You got to be a little lucky to have some type of success, but I thought we did a good job rolling with the punches and making the most of it.
Taking every game, not blowing any games off. When I say that, like, just not taking it for granted. Like, okay, say if it's a game November 2nd, we got another game November 4th, or we got another game December 7th. Like, just taking each and every game, playing it like we played, like we had the mentality for Atlanta and the mentality for Miami. Just looking back, I think it's a lot of games that, as an organization, we can look back and say, that was a game, that was a winnable game. You start counting 5, 6, 7, 8 games. You look at our record, and then you look at the end of the season, and you 2, 3, 4 games from being here, and those games add up. So I think that's something that's very pivotal for us, just locking into details and, lock it into each and every game like it's our last.
You might have already answered this, but on a personal level, what's your biggest takeaway from your performance this season?
Just continue to get better, continue growth. Blessing the Lord for that. I pray a lot to just ask Him to be able to unlock my full potential. And I don't think I did that. I think it's still more growth for me to do. But just looking back at it from my rookie year to my sophomore year to now, definitely is a big jump I took, and I just want to keep going. It sucks that we lost, but at the end of the day, it's only going to be one champion this year, and we just have to learn from this, and we have to pretty much really lock in to what we did wrong and how we started the season and this and that, and really take that next step.
Look at everything and see areas that can get better, improve, and work on those. I mean, also have the have national team play. You know, we have the qualifiers for the Olympics, so that's something that I have as well. So yeah.
Vooch, you might have already answered this, but last summer you were quoted saying if you guys don't make it to the playoffs, that change could be coming to the plate. By the way, obviously that's out of your control. You're not management. You're signed for 3 more years. Demar's up. What do you think this team needs moving forward to kind of get to the next step?
Yeah, it's not really a question for me. That's more a question for the front office. It's also season just finished, so I think it's too soon to talk about that and think about that. There's a lot that happened over the year. There's a lot of stuff that the front office needs to take care of this summer. Multiple guys in free agency, things like that. So we'll see. I mean, that's something they have to look at and see what worked for us, what didn't, and try to fix it and help us be better next year. But also we as players, there's a lot of fell in those that we didn't do as well that we could have done better this year, and that it's the reason we came up short.
What did you think was the weakness of the season? Obviously, you started, dug yourself a hole to start, injuries and all these things that we've talked about all season long. But was there something stands out to you that didn't enable you guys to play as you hoped you play?
I'd say inconsistency. I just think we never got consistent enough to put together a really good run. A lot of games we let slip out that we had a chance to win. We'd win a couple, lose a couple. Whenever we got a chance to get to 500, we kind of would never be able to get over the humps. I'd say that, and obviously the really bad start just dug us a really big hole, and it was hard to come back from that.
I know, like you said, and I agree, management makes these decisions, you guys don't, but you did kind of throw down the gauntlet, probably over your experience, knowing that, when something's together and gets a chance for 2 or 3 years, if it doesn't work, then was that sort of what you're getting at, that, there's only so long you could ride, the old, the quote people always mistake, Einstein, keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. Is that, sort of the notion that you're thinking about?
No, I just obviously, we're all aware that it hasn't worked out the way we wanted it to, and that we haven't achieved the results we wanted it. And so, we all very aware of it. That's clear. But again, that's for management to decide and see what they want to do moving forward, and what I think is best for this team to be a better team and have more success. So that's our job as players to be on the court. We should have been better this year as a team and done better and play better. We didn't, and so now it's on them to decide what they think was their issue.
Let me put it this way: you had a solid season. Demar, solid, good season. I know you had some injuries, but Coby had a huge. Iowa had huge. Are you surprised that this team didn't do better, given what the young guys did? How far especially those two came along.
I am. I think we do have enough in this locker room, in this team, to have better results. Just for whatever reason, we're not able to do it. And we have the talent. We have the players that can do it. It's just for our years we haven't been able to put it together consistently to do it like you need to do to be a good team. We show flashes here and there. We do it for a couple games and then it kind of goes away. And so that's been our issue this year, same last year, and so obviously something needs to be fixed.
Guys in this locker room came in every day and worked their butt off, and I obviously care a great deal for everybody in this locker room, and we all hate that it ended this way. We didn't obviously want it to end this way, but like I said, the loss still fresh, man. So I really ain't thought about all that type of stuff.
Coby, obviously, not to harp on the point that this thing's still raw and you guys just lost, but at the same time, you talked about making sure next year that you guys aren't in this play-in situation again. Do you think there has to be wholesale changes for that to happen with this roster?
I just work here, brother. I'm not the front office, so like I said, I don't think about stuff like that. I ride with the guys in this locker room that competed night in, night out, came to work every day, and put it all into this. So that's what I rock with. So I ain't getting into all that. I don't really make those decisions and whatnot. So
what do you personally take out of this season for yourself individually that you are proud of and that you also need to work on?
I feel like I'm just proud of my growth overall, just getting better. As the season went on, I think one thing I need to work on, probably this off-season focus on, is probably just my conditioning. I don't think anything I could have done this past off season would have prepared me for the amount of minutes and load that I had this year. So for me now moving forward, I just need to work on my conditioning and make sure I'm prepared for anything coming into the season.
You feel at all, Coby, that they took you by surprise a little bit at the beginning, the way they jumped on you? Not your person, but the team, physically, and ran up that early lead, and you were fighting back the whole way after that.
No, we Coach harped on it that they were going to come out, especially coming out of a loss in Philly. They were going to come out aggressive and physical, and I feel like I said, even in those moments, we still got some good looks, some good opportunities, good threes, because they protect the paint really well. So we got some spray outs, some kick outs. They was really closing in on Demar. He was making the right plays, and we just didn't hit shots, and they hit shots at the beginning of the game. They came out strong, and in that second quarter, we dug in defensively and got some stops. We still didn't shoot the ball well, so sometimes in this league it's just make or miss. But we knew they was gonna come out physical. They're called a heat culture for a reason. So
one other thing about the game, the third quarter looked like we've seen this before, where you get way down and come back.
Mm-hmm.
That was a 22-1 with Miami, I think. In one of those games, you're down.
yeah.
And then you get within 6, 4, 6, 6, 8, and then so the end of the third quarter comes apart. What did you see there? It sort of lost control, I think.
Man, and especially in this game with this intensity playing away and everything that's on the line, once you dig yourself in that hole, it's a different type of hole than in the regular season. It's a different type of desperation from both teams. So, like you said, earlier this year we was down 22-1 against them. We came back and won that game. So I'm pretty sure that they talked about that game before, this game started. Like I said, the magnitude of this game with everything on the line, it's a different type of hole that you're digging yourself into.
Demar has been so important to this team over the last 3 years. What would it mean for him to come back next season and re-sign with Wolves?
It would mean everything. It would mean everything to this organization, I think, to the fans, to the city, as much as he's done for this organization and to the city and my personal growth. That's my dog. So whatever he wants, I think he should get paid whatever he wants. So, it'll be important for us to have him back. And me personally, I really want him back. So hopefully they can get everything done and he can be back in the Chicago Bulls uniform next season.
You're close with Zach. Assuming he's healthy and he's back next season, will that work moving forward? I mean, obviously there was a well-publicized incident about him and his agency saying that he might be open to being elsewhere. So if he is back next season, how does that work for you guys?
He kept in contact with it, even though he's been hurt. Even when all that stuff came out, he didn't have really control over that. What the media ran with. So he's been there, and I know last night, after that Atlanta game, he texted me, he texted the group after every win, giving us motivation. So we're not really focused on that. Zach's been my teammate since I've been in the NBA. So I know what type of dude he is. I know what type of player he is and how much he cares about winning, how much he cares about the team. So I don't see that being really a problem just because I know who he is as a person. And everybody in this locker room know who he is as a person. So like I said, we ain't really getting into that. He's been there since he got hurt and had surgery. He's been there, texting in the group chat, giving us motivation, giving me motivation. So I can't thank him enough for that.
The mental part and the mental discipline it takes at this level. It just seemed there were some instances guys were complaining about no calls and just seemed the physical. Is this team just an awful matchup for your group and what you guys do or what you guys lack? It seems. Last year's game was different, but at the same time, come crunch time, come physicality time, they just outwilled you guys. Tonight, it just seemed like they were just playing basketball, not complaining, and you guys were doing some frustration things that you've mentioned the last month or so.
Yeah, maybe on a particular play. I don't know all.
There was one time where Demar didn't get a call and kind of just laid underneath the basket and then. But it just seemed that wasn't the only one. There were some other instances.
Yeah.
They just come out and play physical, and it seems your guys get caught up in things.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Listen, we did. First of all, we just didn't shoot the ball well, right? And Sam, you and I talk about this. I'm not a big believer it's a make or miss league. I never believed that. Okay. But the bottom line was we physically competed in that second quarter and held them to 13 points and battled. Those guys battled, you know what I mean, now. And I thought we came out in the third quarter and got some pretty good stuff. But you look at the Philadelphia game, the way it was a low-scoring game. These games, to your point, Joe, they're gonna be like that. It's gonna be ugly, grind out. Could we have been better in those areas? Probably. I wouldn't say we were perfect. I think our guys were trying to compete. I felt that way, from the bench. I thought there was a couple plays like Coby went for that. I went for a loose ball and a long pass. I think Love threw it long. It got kind of deflected, and Coby dove for it. Like, there was plays there where I thought our guys were trying to mix it up a little bit, and we tried to get to the glass. We generated some second chance opportunities. But to your point, were we graded at the whole entire game? No, but I don't think that it was like we were complaining the whole game either. I think our guys tried to battle through a very, very difficult shooting. And listen, I do think a big part of this is, this is, I think, the part for even like Coby and Ayo consistency-wise, where they're at this level against Atlanta, and then you got to be able to come back. And maybe not that he's going to score 42 points again, but just keep coming back. We got to do some more of that. I think our guys competed. I do think the game was physical. Where I struggled more is I thought at times they drove the ball through us. I didn't like that, but I thought like the loose balls, I thought we were really battling and trying there a little bit.
Who is this thing? I broke that thing. I think my wife texted you.
Demar, just simply first, could you just talk about, this game, the way it got away from you, the team early, and you really never were able to get back in it the way, you have been so many games this year, and, then just a quick, overview of this season from you.
They came out, did what they were supposed to do, played extremely hard, played together, physical, aggressive, more hungry out the gate, I think we got it down to 11-10 a few times, and we just couldn't pull away from there. It was tough. Missed a lot of easy shots. Couldn't find a rhythm offensively. Couldn't really get nothing going. And they had a rhythm offensively, hit shots when they need it. And I think as far as the season, it was a long season. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of challenges, a lot of frustrations, a lot of a combination of a lot of emotions. We had to go through. Guys being hurt, guys in and out of the lineup, missing key players. It's just been one of those seasons of combination bad luck. But these guys stuck with it, stayed resilient, fought, didn't give up, didn't give in. We could have had every excuse about missing players, not having this, not having that, and everybody just stuck with it.
Demar, I know loyalty is one of your strengths, and at the same time, to see this season end the same way it did last year, you talked about that plane ride last year from Miami, to see it end when, no Jimmy, opportunity there. Mm-hmm. Does it make you rethink your future that, do I really want to be a part of this, or do I need to chase something bigger? Is this going anywhere? Is this thing stuck in quicksand? I mean, what's your immediate gut reactions? And I know this is fresh off a loss, but what's your immediate reactions of, okay, what about me now?
I don't know, man. It's pretty sure over the next couple of days, couple of weeks, mind, emotions, everything gonna be, all over the place. Sometimes you gotta kind of let those emotions come down so you can think logically. I could feel all type of negative ways right now that I may not feel next week. I always try not to react off of impulse, or speak off of impulse, no matter how I'm feeling. It's just gonna be a long season. Summer for me. It's kind of like you crawling up that hill, you get knocked back down, and you take that look up the mountain, and you say, "Damn, I got to do it all over again. Got to figure it out." So I don't know. It's just gonna be a long summer for me. Just thinking about a lot.
Demar, just to follow up on that, and I know this is raw and this is a difficult time because of this season-ending loss, but you've been very consistent in calmer moments about your desire to be back.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that still where you are?
Yeah, that's still where I'm at, but, at the end of the day, I hate losing, hate missing opportunities. I think, it really hits you after the season, when you look up and last seconds run off and you don't have another game. And next time I play a game will be my 16th season. You realize the window closed for you personally. I ain't trying to play 25 years or nothing like that, but you just want to have the opportunity to give everything great in you an opportunity. And like I said, like my mind, my stance on want to be here still the same, but just want to win. More than anything, just have the opportunity to win and not got to go home and see the first round of the playoffs, second round of the playoffs. It's frustrating.
How much, Mark? There must have been a lot of ambivalence for you about this season because, once Zach went out, the load fell on you. I mean, I know it's disappointing, obviously, the way it's ending, as you're pointing out, and what you have to go through. But at the same time, you played this extraordinary number of minutes, which is sort of record your age and all. I know you don't mention that, but you were there all the time. Plays went to you. Teams relied on you down the stretch. Fourth quarter story. Did it tear you both ways? That you couldn't succeed in the end, but you called on to do so much, and you were able to produce that.
Yeah, I just always try to overly prepare myself every summer to be ready for whatever. So for me, it wasn't a surprise or anything or something that I felt like I couldn't do. I work my butt off in the summertime for whatever's called of me. I always try to be one of those guys that's available, that's able to play, able to always want to be out there on the floor. So I work my butt off in the summer for moments like that. And I don't look at it like an age as being something that slowed me down because, I take care of myself and, I work my butt off. So, it's just always a challenge that I'm always up for, to be honest with you.
Jamal and then you,
What would you like to see from this franchise this offseason as you're making your decision?
Competitive team, team that give us a chance to be able to make a run. Since I've been here, we dealt with a lot. Our first year was, that was the team that, we planned on being with. But, to lose, star point guard and Zoe, Zach getting hurt later that year, my first year, we had all the pieces in play. Like I said, it was just, I don't know if a black cat ran in front of us or we broke a mirror or whatever. But I think just giving us the chance to be competitive and putting a team on the floor that we could go out there and compete with, teams and not just fight for a playing game.
Last one.
Sorry to keep you waiting there.
No.
Is there anything that stands out in the sense that, obviously injuries, Zach goes out, Patrick Williams goes out, Zoe, obviously, as you mentioned. But is there something that stands out as you look this season that kept the team, from being the kind of team you felt you be or wanted to be?
I think we just, when you look at the list of guys that was out, from Pat, Zach, to, obviously, it's key players. Like it's big time players that we was missing. And even when they was out, we didn't sit up here and make an excuse. We didn't look at it like we had less than. Everybody took upon a challenge. And sometimes, we couldn't sustain it. Sometimes we went on runs where, we could, we made it look good. But I think just knowing that so many key guys was out was always kept the hope there for me, because we was just against the gun throughout the whole season. But I think it was a couple of weeks ago when I think we had a team meeting and Billy had brought up how many guys was missing. And I remember leaving practice, and I was like, damn, I've never thought once, we missing this much of an important group of guys, and we still was, resilient, So for me, looking at it was like, that's what gave me the hope, all honestly, just knowing that, if we was healthy, we would have figured it out, and the talent of guys that we had just not being able to play, was a real thing for us.
Thank you, Demar.
Thank you.